you dirty potters. How are you today? Today is the big day. Every single year, there's a convention for the ceramic arts that goes on. It's called Nceca. Nceca is an acronym that stands for, I'm pretty sure it's the National Council on the Education for Ceramic Arts. NCECA. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. It only happens once a year. Fortunately for your boy, it happened in Sacramento. You know, the place where I live. I'm super excited to meet John the Potter and Tim C and Hammerly and Sue, and Lindsay's probably gonna be there, including people that watch my channel. I don't know if I'm popular because I like to stay in the garage and I'm not super social. This is gonna take all the energy that I have for like the next month from me. But I imagine that people are gonna be like, oh hey, it's that one guy who says Dirty Potter from YouTube every now and then. Or they're gonna be like, you taught me how to center, get him! But what I do know is that I am heavily expected to go because it is the biggest ceramic arts convention of the year and it's kind of down the street from me. I get bread, all these. Hello. So Lindsay and I just got here and we are in exhibit room A where literally everybody is. We are masked up. We did have to show our vaccination cards, but it's all for safety, you know.
Yeah.
But everyone here looks like one of us, if that makes sense.
One of us. One of
You're
us.
like, oh, you got dirt on your shoes too, I see. So Lindsay and I just did an entire roundabout of the place, right? We met so many people.
It's so awesome.
We were stopped like once a table at least.
Everyone has been very respectful. There was no.
Everybody's been very nice. Everybody, one person gave me a book of like a glaze book I didn't have. Thank you so much. But for now, we're gonna go eat and we're gonna see what we can do afterwards. I have to get home soon, but I guarantee I will see you the next day.
Early the next morning.
Hello, it is now the second day of Nceca. We had to skip after lunch. We have a new friend.
New friend.
This is Steven. I've actually been talking with Steven online for a very long time. This is just the first time I met him on, like, you know, an actual
In the real
physical realm that's not Instagram or something like that. So we're gonna go find some breakfast and then we're gonna have a little party. We're gonna see what we can find for merch. We're gonna see what we can find for other artists. I'm told that today is like the bigger day. As for Wednesday, it's kind of like everybody just meeting up. Thursday is when stuff goes down. So we're gonna see what we can get at. So me, Lindsay, and Steven found this place called There and Back Again, which is pretty close to the convention center, but it's just far enough for no one else is here except for us. Yeah. If you're in Sacramento, please check it out. It's right next to the cathedral. It's like D&D themed, kind of. I don't know if you can even see it, but there's like an old-timey photo of C-3PO and the other Star Wars person I don't care about in the background.
What?
Lindsay just noticed it.
No, I mean, I've seen it. I'm just balking at your disrespect of R2-D2. I'm upset. I'm upset with you, Donte.
There's the cool one, and then there's the one who nags people.
Oh my God.
Is what they are. So what do you plan on doing today, Lindsay?
Beep, 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 beep.
How about you, Steve?
What? Oh. No! Can I cuss here?
Do you have anything on your wish list for Nceca?
Ooh. Yes, I would like to get a diamond core carving tool.
Okay.
Because they're pretty and they're sharp.
Okay, I was gonna try to steal a lock of John the Potter's hair.
Bring your scissors with you.
That was on my wish list, but he's not here, so it doesn't really work anymore. If Seth Rogen shows up, I want like some dank or at least a pipe that he's made.
Oh my God.
And then I'm probably never gonna use it because I don't smoke, but like I just want it for the memories. I'm constantly apologizing to Steven because like I want to say like once every block or once every go around a store we get stopped by somebody and it's like, oh Lindsay, oh it's Donte.
Okay.
And it's super cool. We've already met a couple of people. Well, actually we've already met like 20 people, to be honest. I'm sorry, Steve.
Don't be sorry.
I'm deeply.
You're just existing. Don't be sorry.
I'm okay. All right.
Stop apologizing.
I know I'm not showing a lot of people on camera, but literally like every room that Lindsay and I walk into, somebody notices us and says hi. We just had a couple people, they're like, oh, I'm this person on Instagram. It's so refreshing. I even had one person come up, it was a teacher who came up to me and was like, oh, I show your videos in class, they help my class so much. Yeah, she was like, I'm a science teacher and I just started to teach art and your videos saved our lives. And I was like, oh, it broke my heart and I love it so much.
Yeah, it's really, really fun to like meet all you guys in person, because...
Say your screen name though. Don't say your real name. Don't be like, I'm Connor. I don't know who Connor is, okay? You gotta be like, I'm Muff Masher 69. It's me. I'm like, oh, I know your username. You're Muff Masher, okay? Of course Muff Masher. We know Muff Masher. Oh yeah. Okay, we found Tim C, right? And this is his first boba that he's about to drink ever right now. And we're gonna record it and it's gonna be awkward and hopefully you enjoy it.
Yeah!
Also, I found Lindsay very clearly.
I finally have energy again. I thought I was gonna die this morning. And then like I talked to people and then I have more energy and it's great.
I did the opposite, but I still talk to people. Tim? Boba milk tea, that's Thai tea flavored.
What's that mean?
It's Thai tea leaves, probably not
Why
from...
are you giving it to me?
Because you have to drink it on camera.
Why?
You definitely have to slurp the tapioca balls.
How do you do this?
Okay, so you get the straw, right? And there's a pointy end, and there's a non-pointy end. Pop it open with a pointy end. And then take that side and stab it in that plastic thing right there.
Take it out of the...
Take the straw out of the entire package.
Yeah, you definitely gotta get used to like sucking.
Yes. And then the pointy end, stab it in there.
Do I squeeze it when I stab it?
Do not squeeze it when you stab it. No, do not squeeze it when you stab it.
Do I put my thumb over the top like a milk pouch?
No, because then the liquid, it'll create a vacuum, it'll spray out anyway. So just like, no thumb over. Yeah, just stab it regular style.
Oh my god.
Stop it.
Don't jiggle in
Get some
there,
help.
stab it.
Gentle.
Okay, oh, you know.
So now I gotta get one of these bubbles.
You don't have to. I like to separate it, so you lift the straw up, you get the tea, and then you put it deeper and you get the boba. Oh, yeah, that first time for everything. Yeah.
Now what do I do?
And then you chew them and you eat them, and then you enjoy the rest of your drink.
I love boba. Did I do it right?
Yeah, you did it right. Okay, we'll let the ransom go. These nerds found an orange tree in California, like, wow, free oranges! And now Steven is in the tree getting oranges.
Early the next morning.
Okay, so it is currently day 3 now, and Natasha texted me this morning and was like, hey, I think there's a potter here that you might know. His name is Stefan. I'm actually a big fan of his. I've been following him for a while, and I don't know where he was, but Lindsay, Natasha, and Stefan are all at the Croc Art Museum because there's art buildings around the Nceca conference that kind of act as arms and legs to the body of what Nceca is. So every single art studio around here is kind of doing its own little Nceca thing. So we're gonna go right now to what is called Clay Camp. Clay Camp is essentially kind of this offshoot of like kids get to play with clay, but they ask for potters to demonstrate there. And so I'm gonna go feed Lindsay, Natasha, and Stefan and see what they're doing.
Okay.
Lindsay,
Alright.
would you like to smash this piece right here?
I would like to smash this piece right here.
Okay, go
I'm gonna
ahead.
do a weird thing. I'm gonna see if it's gonna work. All right.
Are you gonna mouth it?
I want to smash it.
No. So when I first got here, there's a bunch of kids. It's like clay camp. It's like, you know, you can come over here, you can throw, interact some stuff. It's a good chance to get kids to kind of touch clay for the first time in their lives. But there's these things, these walls, and these kind of cornucopias and boats right now, and everyone contributes, right? So it's kind of like a community project. But every now and then,
What is that?
you see something that probably shouldn't be there.
Early the next morning.
Well, you know, I really like that convention. I will say, I heard multiple times from a lot of potters, and it was kind of obvious just from the recording that I showed you that there wasn't as many people or corporations or companies there as I thought there would be. I heard a bunch of times that like the paperwork for Nceca, if you're a company, had to be done so far ahead of time, and especially with like the different strains of viruses out there, they were like, yeah, we probably don't want to really go, we don't want to risk it, we don't want to be part of the crowd that's like business before the lives of people. So I understand why a lot of companies didn't go, but for the companies that did show up, I really appreciate that you showed up. All the big hitters showed up, right? Amico showed up, Aardvark showed up, Imco showed up, even Shin was there. I got to see him a couple of times. I didn't really interact with him because he was super busy, but everyone had their own trademarks there, and there were a lot of people who were trading their stuff. When I first came there, I thought I'd have to bring like 10 mugs, so I brought 5 instead because I don't have a lot of extra stuff. I sell most of my stuff on my website at earthstationceramics.com, and that thing's almost sold out right now. So I didn't have too much stuff to spare, but a good idea if you're planning on going to the next Nceca conference, and something that I saw a lot of other potters do, is they would make little tiny trinkets or little shot glasses or little interesting things that really go towards their brand, not so much as like just a mug, and they would kind of trade those off. It's less work intensive, you can make way more of them in one go, essentially little stamps or little things that you can trade off so people have some little modicum or memorabilia of you and your experience with them. Kind of like a little trading card, if you will. Before we get going, there are some things that I would like to say about my positives and negatives about the experience of Nceca for anyone who's thinking about going in the future. Now, none of these are like hard negatives. They're not things that I'm like, ooh, I hated that. It's more like they're things that I didn't expect, and they're things that I think you would be interested in if you've never been to Nceca before. So if you don't want to hear the epilogue, this is pretty much it. You can turn the video off now. And don't forget to click the like button if you're tuning out now, because every time you click the like button, YouTube pays me more money to go to Nceca. That's not true. YouTube doesn't pay me nearly enough. Thing number one is if you're a brand new potter and you're really trying to cement yourself into the culture and you really want to learn the nitty gritty of some stuff and you want to expand yourself and you want to see new tools, then this is a fantastic place to go. If you're a new potter, if you're like a year or two in, you should definitely consider going here if you can and you have like the health and the mental and the financial state to go. I say this because there's so many things that I think I saw when I was in year 1 or 2 of my pottery experience that I'm like, I didn't even know that existed. That could have expanded my artwork so much more, right? But if you're already kind of cemented into the art world and you're like 7, 8, 9, 10 years in, everything you see is gonna be like, yeah, I knew I could do that. Most of the things there that they're trying to sell you are things that you're like, yeah, I knew that was a thing. The cool thing is if you are already cemented in the pottery culture and experience and whatnot, and you're kind of seasoned, Nceca is essentially a place where you get to meet all of the other potters who have a name in the ceramic art world, and you get to kind of collab and link up with them and share information and share really the nitty gritty of their art process, right? A lot of them will tell you like, oh, this is how I do my thing. How do you do your thing? And you'll share information, you get ideas, you get really good inspiration from that kind of thing. So in between like the beginner phase, it's fantastic to go to. But if you're kind of in the, what I call the advanced phases, or you've been in the game for a second, it's kind of just a place to link up and hang out. The amount of times I had lunch or dinner with a group of potters who were either like people that I've known in the ceramic art world for quite some time or just fans of the channel, I had like 5 different meet and greets. Secondly, there are very few talks at Nceca where I personally, as someone who's experienced a lot in the ceramic art world, and I'm not saying like I know everything, I'm just saying in general, there's like a basic set of skills that most potters know of or have before they get into their own niche. A lot of the talks and conferences and things that people share are not mechanical. They're not like, oh, I'm doing this is how I do this specifically. A lot of them are, and I'm not trying to make fun of anybody here, but a lot of them are like, oh yeah, my dog died back in 2001 and it's been really hard and I just dug myself into ceramic artwork and that's why I make sculptures of dogs now and it really reminds me of my dog and I love dogs. And although I do enjoy that, I do understand there's an emotional aspect to that. I do understand that that can help you kind of forward yourself in your own artwork. For people who are looking to advance themselves in their own personal artwork, like they came to the conference in order to see a specific skill set so that they can apply it to their work, a lot of those talks were not beneficial for me. A lot of those talks were, I do ceramic artwork, here's my own personal story. And if you're into that, that's cool, that's fantastic. But there's definitely a group of people who went to the conference because they wanted to up their level and their skill game as far as ceramic artwork goes. And please excuse me here, because this is probably the best way I can put it. A lot of the talks were pretty much chicken soup for the soul stories, but with ceramic art mixed up in them. I will say there are some fantastic venues that have great information that you can listen to. The other cool part is most of those talks are usually taken by Nceca, and if you have access to them, Nceca will chop them up and take out all the fluff so you can watch them later on YouTube or the Nceca website. So if you want to go to the conference, experience everything for yourself, really interact with people, go home and see all the chopped up kind of just the meat of the discussions, you can do that too. So don't feel bad if you're not hitting every single venue or every single talk as you go along. The third thing is that the art galleries are poppin'. They're fantastic. The amount of inspiration that I got from the art venues was phenomenal. You know, every single, well, not every single room, but most of the rooms either had a talk, which I'm calling conferences, you know, like a little meeting about potters and their personal experiences in the art world, or they had their own art gallery in which Lindsay and Natasha, I just wanted to experience it for myself, walk around. They all had kind of this thing where they put all their art in a room, just like an art gallery, and they all took turns watching it. So I didn't really go into that because I didn't want to spend a lot of my time watching my own artwork and talking about it and whatnot. I think maybe next time I might, so people know where to find me, because there were lots of people on Instagram and Twitter looking for me. But I will say that every single room was fantastic. All the artwork was great. There were pieces that I was like, how'd you even get that in the door? The piece is bigger than the door. I don't understand. The only real thing that I have some feelings about that I could possibly say is negative, but take it with a grain of salt because there is a silver lining to this, is that when you go to the Ceramic Art and Clay Convention, there's a very clear separation in between sculptors and potters. There's a very clear separation in between somebody who made a beautiful bust and they're on display and they're over there, and then in another room there's just like a bunch of people's cups in the corner, because cups are kind of like the t-shirt of clay. They're kind of like our trading cards. I would have loved to have a venue with some big pots. I would have loved to have a venue with some really big, organic, salt-fired, wood-fired, pit-fired, beautiful, natural, organic stuff. I would have loved to see, I would have even, not to toot my own horn, but I have some like huge pots behind me right now that are like 2 feet tall. I would have loved to have some of those. I saw very little of those on display at this conference. I might be looking too much into it. I just wanted to give you some of my thoughts and point of views. I think it's a fantastic experience, especially if you're new. If you're super new to the ceramic art world, your first, second year in, you can embolden yourself so much from going to one of these conferences, right? But if you're kind of in the game and seasoned, if you're not like making connections and talking to other people and really getting to like the nitty gritty of artwork, then you're kind of just there to like make friends, which is an equally valid experience, you know? So thank you very much for watching the video. I kind of put all the experiences into one day, so this is probably a longer video. I really appreciate you watching. Hopefully I will be in the Ohio one. I will say I'll probably get like a little pottery gang together. So if you want to join my Discord, the link is down below. That way we can hook up. I'll make us our own Nceca 2023 room. That way we can all know who's what, when, where, why. But thank you, Dirty Potters, for joining me today. I only get to do this specific type of video about once a year, so tell me if you like it. Tell me if you want me to do it next year. Give me some ideas of what you would like to see. I mostly got a lot of corporations and a lot of companies, and I tried to show you what they have available at Nceca, right? So if you like this kind of content, give me a suggestion down below. Don't forget to click the like button. Every single time you click the like button, there's a higher chance that Nceca might have me on a panel and me have my own discussion.
Thank you for your patronage.
And I promise you, I won't be up there like, oh, I don't really make art. The clay tells me what it wants to be, and then I just make it. I'm the instrument in which the clay moves through me.